IO. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh, 2 of 3 are working so far. We'll see if I have to reconnect fucking Facebook again.
Well,
It,
no,
Oh,
good.
3 of 3. 3 of 3, baby. All right. That's what I'm talking about. All right. This is
Facebook
good.
can be problematic, especially if you have any if you hum a copyrighted melody,
Right.
Facebook will boot you off the restream.
Right.
Yo, listen. I shit you not, right? I have a friend. Shannon, you probably seen him. He does the steel drum. His name is Demetrius.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So he was doing his drum thing, just bringing some positive vibes in the world, going live. And they tried to shut him down for copyright infringement for playing sounds that he created on the spot.
What?
They were
What?
like, yes, like he was doing this thing, and they shut him down on Facebook and was like, copyright infringement. He's like, how?
What?
It's because they have a bunch of bots. And
That's so
well,
weird.
same thing happened on Twitch with Herman Lee from the band Dragon Force. He was playing his own music, and he got a DMCA takedown and was banned from Twitch for playing his own music.
Jesus. Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like
Well, I got
it's
taken off
it's insane.
Facebook for playing like my album. Like I was playing backing tracks for my album, and then I got like
Yep.
kicked off, and it was like for my album, like album release. The word release is what I was looking for, and yeah,
If
got
you
kicked off right away.
Yeah,
Stupid.
if you're like digitally distributing your music through like DistroKid or something, and then you click that YouTube little click after you're before your album goes live, pretty much it makes the bots able to find your own music. In fact, I would like went to my DistroKid and I took all that shit off of my releases because I was getting like copyright strikes on my own YouTube content.
Oh
And
wow, man.
I'm just like fuck this. Like I don't
Yeah.
it's not like I'm making much money off this shit anyway because it's not like a lot of people are covering my shit. So I'm just like I don't need to cover my ass that much. I'm just going to make it so the DMCA won't fuck with my own shit because like essentially on my streams now I just play my own music because
Right.
I kept getting kicked off of everything.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
and
It's
muted,
it's
you know?
ridiculous. I noticed
Man,
though,
let's
if I were to
that
stream from like my actual band page though on Facebook, that shit is connected to everything else. Like I have like my Spotify hook like connected to that.
mm,
So like that
they
would
recognize
work.
it.
Like that would
Yeah.
be fine, but I can't do it from my personal page, which is stupid.
It's been a learning curve this whole COVID and becoming a virtual musician entity.
Hmm.
There's been a lot of learning, and and Dan will tell you I hit him up so many times. I'm just
Yeah.
like bit rate. I'm like fucking like
Yeah, yeah.
talking all. I didn't know about any of this shit. I was just a dude that drove around in a van before COVID, and then I'm like, okay, well I still want to be creative, and I guess I got to do it sitting on a computer chair
Right.
now.
Yeah.
Um, so
This is crazy.
it's been a journey, man.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say.
I
Dan
know the feels.
Dan in the chat, Dabs and Drums Dan, aka
Hello.
Drummer Boy, he said, I got banned on Facebook for streaming for like 2 weeks. Fuck the DMCA. I'll stream recorded music till I die. I'll make a million Twitch pages if I have to, and have
Facts.
a million get taken down,
See,
and I'll just make a million more.
this is why it's like, fam, they need to chill. Like even with him and his drumming to the doing his dab's drum thing. They submit a song, he kills it on the drums and shit. It's like he's doing it to like it's homage. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just it's respect. You know what I'm saying? It's not like he's selling their records. And just like when I was DJing, it's like I'm not charging. I'm not trying to make money off of it. I'm honestly just spinning live because everybody's in the house and I want everybody to like vibe on a Thursday night. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like,
Right. Yeah.
like just let me provide a vibe for people during this time. Like, chill
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
It's okay.
It seems like Twitch is playing catch up. Like they're
I
a
heard.
giant corporation. It's owned by Amazon. They knew about the DMCA. YouTube implemented DMCA type bots and a system for monetization like years and years and years ago. And Twitch with with the pandemic happening, they should have seen this coming. So it's just weird because it used to be like the Wild West. Like I remember being like, oh, I can do anything I want on Twitch, and then all of a sudden it's just like boom, DMCA, and then everyone's scared. I love it that Dan's just like, fuck it.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm just gonna play X and I'm gonna play drums or whatever the fuck I want. Billy Joel, fuck it.
Yeah. Dan is like notorious for making like, usernames anyways for various reasons. So when he needs to make new ones, if you know what I mean, yeah, he's good at it. So go Dan.
He'll find a way.
He'll find a way.
Essentially, all I want to do is have a platform to play my own shit. So I'm gonna play it safe because I don't even like fucking doing covers that much anyway. Because I'm kind of just self-indulgent and I just care about my art. Right. I just like I remember my old boss hired me to be in a cover band back in like 2009. He hired me to play covers at the New Year's event at the catering company at the banquet hall, and we learned all of these songs, and I remember I was sitting there playing Eric Clapton, and all of these fucking old people were slow dancing to Eric Clapton while I was playing it, and I kind of just wanted to die.
Yeah.
And at that point, I'm just like, man, fuck this. Like, I can't do the cover thing. Like, no shade to anyone who makes a living playing cover music. Like, if you can do it, like, props. I can't. I just can't do it. It makes me want to fucking smash my head into the wall.
I'm the same way, dude. I like for a second there I wanted to be like, either like a jazz, like have like a jazz trio or something, or like do like more wedding gigs or stuff like, And then I was just like, no, I'm not really into this. Like this isn't really my thing. So I feel that.
I think it's fun.
Right.
I don't think there's nothing wrong with it. It's but also no. I'm just saying like also like as a creative, like I would do it, but also I wouldn't make a career out of it because I would love to make my own stuff.
Yeah.
Because you kind of would want to be known to also have your own stuff too. I'm just speaking for myself, but I wouldn't mind doing that either. Like especially for certain bands too, like just to have fun. Like
Yeah.
Like if someone was like, I want you to be in this Prince tribute or something, like I might be like, okay, but but playing in a wedding band, oof, like playing fucking Moni Moni, like the Billy Idol version, and playing like what was the other one we played that I just playing like fucking play that funky music, white boy, or like I don't know. I just remember we found this list online that's like these are the standards you need to know if you're playing like a New Year's party or a wedding.
Right.
And so we learned all of them, and then I was just like, oh my god.
Yeah.
I was like, dude.
You get it like
like Brown Eyed Girl. It's a great song. I'm not dissing the song. I just can't do it, man.
I feel that. So like since we got like a little interview situation happening. How did you start off like just playing music in general? What's the deal? Did you just start when you were a kid or?
In 1991, Guns N' Roses put out a record, two records called Use Your Illusion 1 and 2. And I became obsessed with Guns N' Roses. And in 1991, I was in 5th grade. I'm about to turn the big 4-0. Like I'm 39 years old.
Yeah.
So I became obsessed with music. I always was obsessed with music, and I always was making weird sounds with my mouth. And I always wanted to. I played the piano a little bit, but really, in middle school I got a guitar, and then by sixth grade I already had a band in 6th grade, and then when I was a freshman in high school, I just had I had another band, and then so I started playing shows. Like I was a freshman in high school, so like 95. Yeah, I'm old, dude.
Yeah, cool.
and then I just became obsessed with it. By the time 98 rolled around, we played St. Andrews Hall, and we did this like battle of the ticket sales, battle of the bands type thing.
I remember those. Yeah.
Yeah, but the tight part about it is we got a great time slot, and the place was fucking full. So when I was 17 years old, I was playing at St. Andrews Hall in front of a full St. Andrews Hall, and then we got first place in the battle of the bands. So I'm just like, dude, I'm like, it just this light bulb went off in my head. I'm like, I'm gonna do this till I'm dead, and I've been doing it for 20. I've been doing it like gigs like I don't know what, do the math, 23, 24 years.
Yeah.
Mm.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
so most of my adult life, and then you know, I started doing the touring thing in the mid to late 2000s, and then I did that for like 10 years. And then I
Yeah.
moved to California, and then I did that for 5 years, and I've just been making shit and just being a weird person that makes shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
What like
That's about
local
it.
like projects and stuff have you been a part of and or like and or started or led or whatever?
I'm a really what's the word I'm looking for here? I'm a cunt. And I mean that in like, I want to do my thing. So I've been a part of my own projects the entire time.
Right.
Like I started the band Downtown Brown in 2000.
Okay.
And we played our first actual show in 2001. And ever since then, everything I've done just says Downtown Brown on it.
Okay,
Every
cool.
T-shirt,
Yeah.
everything. And before that, I had a band which was essentially like Downtown Brown before Downtown Brown. But if anyone's ever been in a band with me, they know that I like have a very distinct vision, and it like I've gone through a lot of band members because they kind of realize that it's my thing when they get involved. But I've also collaborated with a lot of people that have brought their own kind of interesting energy and sauce to the mix. So it's really been this distinct vision of mine the whole time, but like other people will come in and they'll throw their goo in the mix, and so it's constantly shifting stylistically, and there's constantly new members involved, and it's just been this journey of my life put to music. It's really
Cool.
yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
And how
I
many
love
don't
when journeys come together. Yeah.
And I'm just trying to be grateful because I had all these big dreams when we won that Battle of the Bands in 98. I was like, bro, I'm gonna be a famous musician and shit. And I was all like, in my like late teens, early 20s, I was really cocky and weird. And then like there was a lot of ego death that occurred, and then there was like alcoholism thrown in there, and then I got clean, and then I started doing cooler shit. It's been a ride, man. I don't know.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. That's good.
Dan said, shout out Purple Rain with DTB. Love playing that with you guys. And then he said he had the same kind of Battle of the Bands story, but at Clutch Cargo's in 03. And he said it was an amazing time
It probably
slot.
was the same guy.
Oh, okay.
Dan in the chat, was the dude named Gary Gottlieb, and was it ROR Concerts? Because they did Battle of the Bands is at Clutch Cargo's and St. Andrews. It's a Canadian guy named Gary.
Gary. Wow.
Yeah. Who's the dude, Lou Pearlman, the guy that got fucking NSYNC and shit together in Florida?
Oh my God. That guy.
He was like the Lou Pearlman of 16-year-old Detroit bands.
Yo, that guy. Sam put me up on the story of him, and I like read some stuff and like watched some shit. Yo, he is fucked up.
I mean, think about it.
He's an evil genius.
You gotta be some type of fucked up if you're like, all right, I gotta find 6 hot guys, and we're gonna make them stars, baby. Like,
Didn't he
That's
like own like he managed or whatever like Backstreet Boys and NSYNC, and somehow in the contracts he made himself a member of the band unofficially. So
Nice.
he got paid for what they did.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know the details, but all I know is like they probably got swindled in some way, shape, or form.
He got
You know?
bashed.
Yeah.
And he did some other shit too. I forgot. I gotta like rewatch to get the refresh. But yeah, he like made himself a member of like the Backstreet Boys.
Yeah. People do all types of crazy shit. And a part of me thinks he was the same dude that put together New Kids on the Block, but I don't really know.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think he was like the boy band go-to guy, which was weird because he was like some old like middle class, just random weird perverted white guy. I feel like.
Yeah, he was just a large bald man with glasses that
Who was like,
yeah.
hey young man, you cute. Come over here.
You're
Let me make you just like, bruh, it's children.
it kind of reminds me of the episode of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia where they do the pageant, the child pageant in a weird roundabout way. It's just like who decides to put these things together? Like who says like, all right, let's parade around young girls in a pageant? Like dude, it's a fucked up world, man. Fucked up place.
As far as like, you know, all of the 16-year-old Detroit bands go, I'm assuming it was just like, oh, well, I mean, they, you know, this whole situation brings a lot of people together, and that just means more money and tickets that can be sold. So sure, let's do it.
I don't think Gary from ROR Concerts was a kitty diddler. I think he just saw the desperation.
He had dollar signs in his eyes.
Yeah, in the suburban Detroit, children who want to be rock stars. You know, because back then it was cool to be in a band. Back then.
I was about to say, what year was it? It was like you said, like
98
to 98 to like 2000, early 2000s, most definitely. That was like everybody wanted. That
yeah, even in the like through the mid 2000s, like Warped Tour and you know the whole like the scene, you know, like the emo core and screamo and metalcore, like being in a band was cool up until I don't know, like 2010 or something.
It's still cool. I think it's cool. You know,
it's cool.
Yeah, you know, a lot of kids that I know that are Gen Zers that I teach, in fact, they would think that shit's definitely cool, and they want to be in a band. You know what I mean? So
the Zoomers like it. That's what they call them now.
The Zoomers like the bands, and they also like lo-fi, and that's a big deal. And trash.
I mean, there's a lot of kids on TikTok that are playing guitars and they're in bands, and a lot of kids on YouTube that could play guitar better than I ever could in my entire life.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So it's not dead. It's not the zeitgeist. You know, the hip hop is the zeitgeist. Like that's the cultural zeitgeist. It's the most popular thing.
Yeah.
And I think that's dope. You know, I like all types of music, man. So I'm not like, I don't want to be one of those dudes that like plays guitar and played in bands his whole life. That's just like, oh, these kids and the hippity hop. It's just fucking, I don't want to be that guy. So like, I listen to a lot of weird music and music that 15 years ago, I probably would have been like, what the fuck is this? Because I had a chip on my shoulder. But now I like a lot of lo-fi stuff. I like experimental weird shit. Like I like JPEG Mafia and Death Grips, and I'm really into Joji and like
I love Joji.
Me too. I love Joji.
I got like, what's funny is I didn't have a sad boy era in my life until I was like in my 30s. Like when I was 15, I was all angry and angsty, but I wasn't sad. I was pissed.
Yeah.
You know? But then like when I got in my 30s, I got real sad. And so there's some sad music out there that I had. You know, it's funny when you're listening to My Chemical Romance and you hated it when it came out.
But I loved it when it came out, but I was also a middle schooler when it came out.
Right. I was in my 20s, but 15 years later, when I hear fucking I'm Not Okay, and like my dad had passed away in 2016, and I'm like, I just was like, I'm not okay, you know? Like I get it now. I get it.
Well, I understand it.
Dan said he still has.
Sorry if I'm rambling.
Oh no, you're good.
That's what it's about.
Yep.
That is what it's about.
Keep rambling. Ramble on. Dan said he still has the DTB playbook in his van.
Yo.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dan filled in for a second there.
Yeah.
It was. Yeah, we played with Andrew WK at St. Andrews. That was like a dope show. Yeah, Dan played drums on that show.
Yeah, that's sweet.
Dan's a great drummer. Dan does a great job. I want to jam. I want to jam with people. I'm fucking so sick of like, I have this whole streaming setup and I have this looper machine, but I haven't jammed with anyone since March of 2020.
Yeah.
And I'm it's nice. I can make stupid loops and I can fart around, but it just isn't the same as playing music with people, you know?
Yeah.
I'm just like,
have you done any like
from the DJ?
Have you done any like Downtown Brown like writing throughout this at all, or just kind of laying low for now?
I haven't been. I actually have a bunch of skeleton ideas through the loop machine that I think are gonna become Downtown Brown songs.
Cool.
Like in fact, I have like probably a whole album's worth. But the thing is, I haven't like fleshed any of it out because, I just haven't felt like it's time to do that yet. I think once I land in Detroit, I think I'm really gonna start getting to work on actually like producing some music that's like release worthy, you know?
Yeah, for sure. How many albums has Downtown Brown released?
7 full-length albums.
Sweet.
and 2 DVDs and 2 live records.
Sweet.
Dope.
That's sick.
I've been busy. But
Yeah.
here, I wonder, can you hear any of this shit?
Let's see.
Probably.
Here, I have this looped. See if you can you hear this if I play this? Can you hear
We
that?
can't hear it yet. Nope.
Oh, you can, okay. Well, never mind then.
Well, if you want to, hook it up or something, let us know. Yeah, just do whatever you want.
Why isn't it? You can't hear that?
Nope.
Oh, that's weird. Okay.
Hmm.
It's probably because I'm not going through OBS.
Oh, yeah, that could be. Yeah.
I'm confused because it should be picking it. Whatever. I wonder if through the Skype thing, preferences, audio and video settings.
Who knows?
Oh yeah.
Skype is a mystery.
Yeah, Skype is weird.
Oh. Here, I'm gonna switch to my audience.
There you
Let's
go.
hear it.
Okay, here I am through my interface. Can you hear the mic still?
Yep.
Okay. Does it sound okay? Because it was just my MacBook computer. Okay, now can you hear this?
Yep.
Okay, so pretty much, I fart around with this shit.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, I have so many skeleton ideas.
Cool.
I just want to find the one that I know for sure is gonna be. Oh yeah. One sec. That's not it. Music now. Nope. Nope.
That sounded funky.
That was dope, but that's not it.
Nope. I'm wasting your time.
No, you're not.
Nah.
I want to
This
find
is
the one
entertainment.
that I
This is
know
entertainment.
that I know is gonna be a Downtown Brown song.
Ooh.
God damn it. Maybe it's number 40. See, most of it's just farting around.
Hey, that's cool.
Rings we like. But some of it, I actually want to make. That sounds scary. Yes. This is
that
the
it?
one I'm going to make an actual song out of.
All right, cool.
It sounds like this. And then there's like a verse and a chorus, but when the whole
Yeah.
thing kicks in, it sounds like this. So like channeling my inner Devo,
Yeah, yep, definitely.
but it's gonna have electric guitars in it.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sick.
So I mean, I fart around. I stream. I do a stream every Sunday, and it's cool because I've cultivated like a very small but very supportive community of people that think what I do is mildly entertaining, and they have pretty much been feeding me since the pandemic, and so I'm a really lucky guy.
Oh, that's sweet.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I found a couple of sugar daddies.
Good. That's great.
There's a couple people that like what I do that have, what's it called? Disposable income.
Yeah, Man, one day, maybe I'll have that.
Oh man.
But
That'd
it's
be
not a
intriguing.
lot. But when you add it all up, and I have a Patreon and shit, because I've just been grinding with the content ever since. Like I've been really trying to become a YouTube partner,
Mhm.
and I'm 400. I have to get 4,000 watch hours in the last 12 months, and I'm 400 watch hours away from getting that like partnership.
Yeah.
Oh, let's run those watch hours up then.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. What's your
I don't-
Patreon? What
Yeah.
is it? Just your name?
Yeah, everything is / Neil P.
Okay.
Is
Yeah. I put
NEILP.
your
So I have
Instagram
Twitch.
tag on here.
Yeah, Twitch is Neil P. Facebook is Neil P. YouTube is Neil P. Neil P.
All right. Cool. So.
But yeah, this one's gonna be hype. And I'm teaching myself Logic and how to program drums and stuff. But what I really miss is playing concerts. That was my jam.
Yeah.
Like that was my whole life, was driving around in a van and getting sweaty and sweating on people. And I'm just, there's a part of me that's so depressed because I don't know when the next time I'm gonna be able to like spit and sweat on someone and have it be like this consensual, lovely thing that it used to be, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Facts.
You moved to California in February. Was there like a purpose for that? Like, was there like were you planning on like playing more shows when you were out there and stuff? Or was
No,
it...
I moved here in 2016.
Oh, I thought you
so-
moved there in February of this year. Okay.
No, I moved to this specific apartment in February.
Oh, got you. Okay, got you. All right.
I came out here in 2016. We had a management thing with a dude named Norwood who's in this band called Fishbone.
Okay.
And so I came out here to do work with him. And then we have a booking agent out here that plugged us into a bunch of live opportunities. So I got to do a bunch of cool stuff. I got to sing in the band Reagan Youth. I got to play guitar for HR, who is the lead singer of the band Bad Brains. I got to be like his like touring guitar player.
Damn.
So I got to do that, and then I put out an album, and I played tons of shows with my band, and we toured with a bunch of different bands. I really put in a lot of work out here, but then it all just kind of dried up when COVID happened, and then.
Ooh wee.
But this is the thing, is like if it wouldn't have dried up, I probably would still be out. I wouldn't be leaving,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Yeah.
because like shit was actually kind of popping off. Like I was supposed to go to Hawaii this year, like to play music.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Oh man.
But COVID happened, and
Right.
it just is what it is.
When was the last Downtown Brown album released? The last full length. What year?
2018.
2018. Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's about 2 years old, and that was it came out in October of 2018,
Okay, cool.
which seems just like yesterday, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's been 2 years. It's fucking nuts.
What is time?
Right.
What is time?
It's
That's-
an illusion.
It's flying.
Time ain't real.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
That's cool.
yeah, so I don't know. I don't know. What are we gonna do as creatives? We just have
Oh,
we have to adapt and evolve, but there's a part of me that I didn't learn any of this shit, and I didn't learn how to record myself, and I didn't learn any of the technical stuff because my whole thing was, like I said, getting up on stage and playing live gigs. I thought that would never go away.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
And-
for sure.
And now it's just like, when is it gonna come back? Nobody knows.
No one knows.
nobody knows, and it is a heartache.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Taking from somebody who DJs, like, and we've adapted and like made a platform where people can tune in, and that's fun, and it's like therapy, but it's nothing quite like being out and seeing the reactions of people and seeing people dance and reading a crowd and having like that one person walk up to your booth or your controller and just go like, yo, that was my shit. And you like, bet, like that. And then you start like, it's nothing like it.
Right.
But the blessing in this one is, like I was telling her a while ago, is when they told all the creatives to stay inside, we was kind of like, bet we will be okay. We'll figure out something. And we all kind of did. Because
Yeah.
I figured out like what I need to do to improve like watching her set up her whole set, I'm like, damn, I need to get this, I need to get that. I wouldn't have known about a lot of shit if it wasn't for her, and it wasn't for a couple other people who've been like doing stuff during quarantine. So that's actually the silver lining in it, but it still is like I want to go out and play for people.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing is we're gonna look to our peers and see what they're doing.
Yeah.
And be like, okay, like that's how they're adapting, and now I can adapt the same way. And I feel like everyone's been really supportive. Like I'm friends with this one band that they have a big fan base, and they keep doing like Twitch raids on my stream and stuff, and they've been like super gracious with like getting eyes on me, and that's like tangible love right there.
Yeah.
And I see, people that I know that are creatives, like they'll pop in on a stream and they'll say kind things, and I pop in on people's streams and say kind things, and it's just like everyone's hurting right now,
Right.
whether you're a creative or not. Everyone's hurting. So I think and that was the worst part about like watching how divisive the politics got is knowing that like everyone's hurting, but everyone's fighting instead of uniting.
Yeah.
But I feel like with most of the creatives, like everyone's been real nice to each other.
Yeah.
We're all like fucking sad. At least I am.
Yeah.
And it also helps is like when you see everybody from like your peers to like just famous people do that shit from their homes, it kind of is like, oh yeah, I can do that too. A little bit like, damn, what am I going to do? How am I going to do this? And then you watch like a friend do it, and you're like, not to say like, oh, if you can do it, I can, but I think it helps to know like somebody so close to you who's kind of in the same realm, same circle, same whatever, grinding just like you. It's like, had to, get it together and figure it out. It's like, all right, let me stop worrying and try to figure out my shit, so.
Yeah.
And I think the support is dope too, like you were saying, like people have been supporting and looking out for each other, which I love. I'm glad people didn't turn into, animals during quarantine. A lot of them, I mean, like pretty sure it's some, but.
Yeah.
I had to get off social media for a minute. It was getting real weird.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
I took a month off. It was the best thing I ever did, and I didn't realize how addicted I was to scrolling until I stopped doing it, and then I'm like, holy shit, this is a big part of my life. But the other point I wanted to make is even people on a higher level, like I remember watching T-Pain's stream, and like OBS was lagging, and he was screaming at his computer and shit. And I'm just like, oh, okay.
What happens to you?
It isn't just me. Like everyone's figuring this shit out. Like there's a dude, Fantano, the internet's busiest music nerd, the guy that does all the music reviews. He was doing a stream where he was interviewing Jello Biafra from the Dead Kennedys, and the stream was laggy, and like they were having all sorts of technical issues. And I'm just like, okay, so it's there's a learning curve for everyone adapting to this shit.
Right.
Yep. Like no matter, unless you have like a shitload of money where you could hire a team just to like, okay, make sure my live stream is 1080p 60 frames per second and that there's no lag,
Right.
But most of us don't have money to hire a team.
Nope. We just gotta look it up and figure this shit out as we go along. That is a blessing to see that happen, especially with those verses, those first few. When you just watched everybody try to figure out why their phone sound wasn't working, it's like, are you there? Have I lost you? Can you hear it? It's like, oh, so y'all don't have it together either.
Yeah.
Bet.
It took me forever to figure out like the sound situation when we initially did this stream. Like we would listen to like full albums, and then obviously the copyright shit like was getting to us and stuff, and like. So we stopped doing that, but like, having like the listeners listen to the full album / like, the people that we were interviewing listen to it and us interview, listening. Yeah, it was hard to get the sound situation figured out for like the longest fucking time, and I was like using different things like Soundflower, Black Hole. Now I can figure out that I like can use my little capture card thingy, and like now it's working. You know, like it took me so long to figure out like what do I need to do for this to work? You know.
Soundflower was the bane of my existence for about a week there.
I hated it,
and
dude. I hate Soundflower.
now I just run everything through the looper, and then I got a mixer and the interface. Yeah, but there was probably 3 weeks where I was literally texting Dan all day, just being like, "What should I do? What should I do?"
Yeah.
Because he already kind of had it figured out. But then he like his stream also with the implementation of what's the capture card? What's that thing called?
We have the little camera switcher, the
The
A10
A10
Mini. Yeah. Yep.
Mm.
And,
I mean, that's gonna fix so many of your problems because you're putting everything in one source.
yeah,
I mean,
him and I both have one, and it works amazing. Like once I finally figured out that I could use that for this situation, it was like, all right, yes.
It's so there's a dude whose Twitch stream I watch from time to time, and a lot of these streamers will put their specs up on their Discord, or they'll put it up on their on like they have a Reddit. What's it called? You know, where it's their personal Reddit.
Yeah.
called.
Yeah.
You know what
Little-
I'm about. They have,
like little
it's,
bloggy thingies, like
Mhm.
yeah.
but I'm like going through, and they have like Amazon affiliate links to all of the stuff that they use, and some of these people's fucking setups, man, are like we're talking
Yeah.
like tens of thousands of dollars
Oh
worth
yeah,
of gear.
dude.
Like-
It's
Ridiculous.
crazy.
Just to stream.
Yeah.
Just to,
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, it's wild. They got all the pro shit. All of it.
I think one of the more impressive ones was this DJ called Joe K, who runs Soulection. First of all, his house is amazing, but his fucking like isolated streaming setup is
Yeah.
wild. I'm like, fam, how did you? I
yeah.
don't understand. He has money, but he's like a hardworking dude, like he does it himself. But I'm still like, yo, like
Yeah.
your shit is wild.
It makes
Like, how
it easier
did you
too
get
if
that?
you have all the fancy shit though. You know what I mean? Like it's just like once you
Yeah.
get all the fancy stuff, it's like everything just runs smoothly. It's cool.
well, that's the thing. It's like once you get it, you got to figure out how to fucking work it.
Right,
too.
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
like this camera I have, there was a minute there where I had it on completely the wrong way to shoot. I was running video through the actual like still frame camera setting.
Oh
like,
yeah, yeah.
Just because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, you know.
What kind of camera
I'm
do you
just a guy
have?
that plays guitar and spits on people, you know.
Yeah. What kind of camera are you using right now?
It's a A6400.
Oh, okay. Cool.
I wouldn't have bought it if it weren't for Dan. Dan's my my tech daddy.
Yeah, he is. He's everyone's tech daddy. It's yeah. There's a lot of conversations that have happened in this house about every single day,
Yeah.
actually. It's fun.
Oh yeah, what's funny is my girlfriend's. I'll be like, I'll talk about like this lens that I just bought, or I'll talk about frame rate or something, and she's just like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, and I'm not interested.
Right.
She's nice,
Yeah.
but
yeah.
she just doesn't give a fuck about technical specifications of.
Yeah.
Of course.
It's. I mean,
Of course.
yeah. It's annoying stuff. Like I get that. You know.
Of course.
Yeah.
You
But-
know?
But that's why I'm glad I have some nerdy friends that can talk weird shit.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. I love
I
that
just
kind
can't-
of stuff. I
I just
do.
can't wait to get more tech so I can like build this shit.
Yeah.
It's going down though.
It's
gonna
like
go
one
down.
thing at a time, you know, like.
Yeah.
You know, you get a microphone and then you save up some money, but it's hard. It's hard to save money when
I know.
Yeah.
unless like I don't know. It's just hard. Everything's
Yeah.
hard.
Sometimes I like to ball out on like $90 worth of sushi when I can, you know, so I'm gonna do that.
Shannon, listen, you know what's coming up. You know what day is coming up. I'm doing that. I
Oh.
don't care.
Yeah, is that your birthday next week, huh?
Yeah,
it?
it's
Yeah.
going
Where's-
down.
Amen.
Where's the spot? Is it still the place in Clarkston? Is that still the sushi spot?
Oh, and Clausen, Noble Fish?
Yeah.
Yo!
Clausen
still
is
the spot?
yeah, that is the best sushi place. I arguably, you know, like I love that place and it's
Yeah.
cheap as
Yeah.
fuck and it's really good. And
Yeah.
yeah, I love Noble Fish. Yeah. It's great.
I'm gonna have to do some. Yeah, I don't know. When I get back there, the best part about when I get back is in Dearborn. There's a place called Lapita, which is the best Mediterranean food I've ever had in my entire fucking life, and I'm like just so excited.
I love Mediterranean food. Shout out to you, brother.
I love all food.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like food.
Food is.
I just like food.
Yeah.
Man.
So as far as like doing DIY shit and like recording things, because you mentioned that briefly, like how you're kind of like learning how to record yourself and stuff. What did you guys do for Downtown Brown albums like before? Like how was your production set up? Who recorded you?
We always did fundraising campaigns. Like even before the implementation of Indiegogo and Kickstarter and shit, we were doing like album recording fundraiser parties where we would throw a show and we would take all the money we made and we would dump it in the album, and then pretty much all the money went back into the band. So
Okay, cool.
like, you know, but there's one engineer that I've worked with since the late 90s, and his name's Ryan Highland, and he works at a studio called Plymouth Rock, which is in Plymouth, Michigan.
Yeah. Yep. Okay.
Plymouth Rock Productions, and his nickname's Toby, but I've been working with him since the fucking 99.
Yeah.
And he co-engineered our first record. Our second record we did at the Temper Mill with Tony Hamera.
Cool.
And then our third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh record was pretty much Toby over at Plymouth Rock. We did do a record out here in California in 2013. We tracked our album, and then we ended up getting it mixed and mastered at Plymouth with Toby. So
Okay.
it's always been just us giving money to the recording studio.
Yeah.
And I didn't really realize that it's like, okay, we live in an age where you don't have to spend $50 or $60 an hour at a nice recording studio. You pretty much can do most of the work on your fucking computer, and then, you know, do maybe like the drums and maybe the vocals, and then mix and master at an expensive studio.
Yeah.
Or you can just do the whole fucking thing at your house.
And then have somebody mix it for you if you want, or you know, there's so many different options.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just not that good at it to the point where it's going to, like, we put out a single that I did myself, and if you just A and B it with the album tracks that we put out over the last, you know, fucking 18 years or whatever, it just doesn't sound as good. It's just the drums aren't as big, the guitars aren't as thick.
Yeah.
But it's cool that because I could say I did that, but like in the future it's gonna be tracking as much of it in Logic, and then taking it into the studio and giving it that,
Right.
you know, like recording the drums in a big room,
Yeah.
you know, and then maybe like recording the vocals on a really sick mic that I can't afford.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so
About right. Sounds about right.
yeah, but before it was just go into an expensive studio and just fucking spend 12 grand on a record,
Right.
and then release it and then hope you make your money back. That was like,
Yeah.
that's been my whole life.
Yeah. Yeah. For
You know?
sure. Dude,
Yeah.
man, I don't know a lot about recording at all, you know, but like the very small things that I've done on my own, which is very minuscule amount, you know.
Yeah.
It's you learn so much, and like you become more aware of like what you want to like tell somebody who is recording your music, you know, and you're like, yeah, like I want this. I kind of know what I want now. You know, it becomes a lot like easier to do, and like, man, if you're able to like record stuff on your own and then just have somebody mix it for you or something, you know, like that's
Beautiful.
that's like a great way to go about it, but I'm not good enough at that yet.
I think like in the future, the main thing I'm gonna try to do is just spend as little money as possible.
Yeah.
Because and be very mindful of what I spend it on. Like don't spend 3 days tracking guitars when you could just do that at your fucking house. Like I have the ability to do that now. You know what I'm saying? So the goal in the future is to just spend as little money as possible, because I know in the streaming age, at least with my creative output that there isn't going to be a whole lot of return on investment. There's
Right.
not going like we don't get like we have 2,000 monthly listeners on Spotify, and there's artists that have 100,000 and aren't really making a whole lot of money off streams. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah, I mean
Yeah.
that you can't make money off that shit anymore. It's all about like actually selling physical like merchandise and like people
Yep.
Yeah.
paying for shows or like now it's like oh geez like I guess do I charge for this live stream or is that like an asshole move of me to do? Like should this be donation based? Like
It's never an asshole.
yeah
move.
yeah
I feel like that.
Yeah, I think it's to everyone's discretion what they do. Like if I like just streaming for free and then kind of putting out the tip jar. That seems
Yep,
to have
yep.
worked.
Same.
best way to do it. Yeah.
Yeah. That seems to be what's worked for me, and people have been really gracious and wonderful. Like I can't tell you the first stream I fucking did, I made $500 in an hour.
Yeah, it's
And-
amazing. Yeah, it's so
What's
sweet.
crazy is
Yeah.
that in my brain I'm like, oh, it's always gonna be like this, and then
Yeah.
it dropped off. Like, I'm just a lucky dude, because I get down on myself all the time because I had high hopes. I thought I was special, but like ultimately what it comes down to is what I've cultivated is been sustaining me.
Yeah.
So I can't spit in the face of that. I have to really be very grateful every day for, just what little things I do have. And it's hard to do when you're like depressed all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
I know. Trust me. I understand, man. But
The fact that you're
everything you've
able
done let you hear.
Yeah, the fact that you're able to like, figure out the live streaming stuff, like number one,
Mhm.
like I feel like that's like a big thing that I mean a lot of people didn't decide to tackle who are musicians, and like I'm not
Yeah.
saying that it's necessary or not, you know what I mean, but it is like a big like task and you learn a lot about a lot of weird things when you start doing that kind of stuff, and like that in itself is like, oh well, you got that down,
Yeah.
and that's huge.
I know me, and if I don't have a way like some sort of form of catharsis where I can act like a fucking complete idiot like at least once a week,
Yeah.
I'll go fucking crazy.
Right.
And that was the thing. Like even in 2019, my band didn't tour that much, but every few months we would have some sort of really exciting opportunity, and I would just like blow that load, for lack of a better term, and better, and it's like if I'm gonna be stuck here all day for 9 months and I don't have any way to express myself and get that energy out, I probably would be in a way worse mental state than I'm already in somewhat of a fragile mental state, but I think everyone is. But I think the enormity of the despair would be way greater if I didn't have an outlet. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, 100%. Like especially
I'm
to
just
like
rambling. I don't know if anything I say makes
Well,
sense.
it makes sense.
to center your life around something like performing and like touring and like doing all this shit with like your band and all this like, and to not like one day just all have it poof be gone, that is like the most like detrimental fucking shit ever, like I don't know, being an artist and like being able to perform in front of people is such an amazing feeling. And
Yeah.
when it got taken away from everyone, it was just like, what the fuck do we do? Like, and it just made everything shitty. But the people that are able to find those like creative outlets though throughout all this is like those are like the smart ones, and they're the ones that are trying to do stuff, trying to make things happen, And
But I don't like if anyone decides that it's not their thing.
oh yeah,
that's understandable too, because
oh for sure,
there is a big difference between pixels on a screen compared to sweaty bodies in front of you.
amen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
that's a good way to put it.
there are days where I go live and I'm playing and performing my ass off, and then I'm just like looking at a computer screen.
Oh
And
yeah.
I jumped ship on the stream. I did it this Sunday. I started streaming and I'm just like, you know what? I'm not feeling this because I was just that day, I was that nostalgic for my old life to where I just wasn't happy with it.
Right.
I'm just like, and I don't want to half-ass shit. I don't want to get up in front of people, even if it's digitally, even if it's virtually, and just be like going through the motions, because even that is tangible, I think.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
You can tell, and because I played enough shows where I was up on stage in front of nobody and I was hating every minute of it, you can tell. You know?
Right. Oh, yeah.
I've seen bands performing in front of nobody and talking shit to the audience, and I've been like, yep, been there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Try not
Yeah.
to do it anymore, but
Right.
it's
Yeah,
it's
I guess
something.
I guess what I was saying is like, you know, I guess people that feel like they need that outlet and like they can find that on their own too, you know, like, you know, I don't know, it's such a strange thing because obviously you don't have to like live stream and you don't have to like, and you know, especially if you don't want to do stuff like that. Like you said, sweaty bodies are different than pixels, you know.
Facts.
You gotta
For real though.
gotta
that's-
do it's very, very different things. Very
Like,
different feelings.
I'd rather have 10 people clap and be in a fucking empty room with maybe like 10 people in it
Same.
any day of the week with a full band than stream online in front of, I don't know. It's still rewarding, but it's just different.
Yeah,
you know?
it's way
It's
different.
different.
Yeah.
It's so different.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's different than the people just being there. It's something about bodies, you know, energy
Yeah.
or something.
I think
Yeah, it's
Because
just
that shit makes you go off. If there's people-
yeah.
even if it's a small show, if people are hype on it, it can
Mhm.
be the best time you ever had in your fucking life. It could be better than any sexual experience or fucking drug you've ever taken in your entire
Yeah.
life. Like, I've had moments on stage that trump all of that shit, and I've done a good amount of drugs, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
But that's my drug. That's
Yeah.
my shit.
Listen, a room full of 10 lit ass people who are
Man.
just partying
It's fun.
beats anything, because that's basically 10 plus you and the band. That's like what, 13 lit ass fucking people having a good time. Bet.
Yeah.
Like, what beats that?
Dude,
Well,
you know?
and the best part about it is that you provide an energy as a performer,
Yeah.
and then you get it back, and it's all in real time. Like, I always use this analogy. If you put up a painting in a fucking museum, you're not going to be like sitting behind the bush, like watching everyone enjoy your painting. But
Right.
if you're up on stage playing a concert, or if you're a DJ, or if you're like doing stand up, like in real time, you're seeing an instantaneous real time reaction and an energy exchange that is fucking the best. It's
Yeah.
the best.
Yeah.
It really is the best. And you know, I'm trying to get by and not be super sad that it's gone.
yeah.
Because it may come back, but you know, the socially distanced thing, is it
Yeah.
ever going to be the same? Because
Right.
I like going to like basement parties and like
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
getting beer thrown everywhere. I don't even drink alcohol anymore, but I straight up miss getting beer pouring on my guitar pedals, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I'm nostalgic for even the shit I hated about being in a band.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You know, and it's funny because until something gets taken away from you,
You don't understand how much you miss all of it.
like I complain all the time about how my legs hurt or how my hip hurts, you know, because I'm pretty beat up. But like if you took my leg away, I'd probably be bitching way more about having no leg, you know.
Right. Yeah, yeah. Man, I
Facts.
played like a show in Brooklyn, like I don't know, I think it was like last year, February, and like I don't know, there's like probably like 25 people in like this small like record shop. And like
Yeah.
you know, and they were all sitting for the most part, and like they were
Yeah.
just like staring. And I play pretty mellow music. It's not like rambunctious kind of shit. It's pretty chill,
Yeah.
you know. And like, man,
Yeah.
it was the best feeling ever when like, you know, a bunch of people are just huddled up, sitting down, just like staring up at me playing guitar. It was just like, oh, you know, it felt so good. Like, and I miss that shit so much, you know. Like I just miss playing in front of people. I do.
I'm glad
I'm glad we did this because I'm able to. What's the word? What's the word when you're like you're feeling bad about something with other people? There's a fucking word for it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Bond. I don't know.
Fucking word. My brain's melting. I don't know.
Where you feel bad about shit with other people, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Commiserate. We're commiserating.
Yeah, that is a great word. Yeah.
We're fucking straight up. This is a commiseration live stream right now.
Yeah.
Remember, it was cool, but it doesn't. I mean, but we have to count our blessings, like I said before, like because it is the digital age, and you could essentially broadcast a TV show out of your bedroom. Like we're afforded the luxury and the opportunity to still express ourselves and make content.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, for sure.
It's definitely not a complaint. You know, I
Yeah.
figured out a whole lot that I thought I already knew.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they helped
Yeah.
me figure out some stuff about just controlling the audio and everything. So I definitely am not complaining, and thank God that I have a computer and equipment that I can stream with. I couldn't imagine if I had nothing and I'd just be stuck. But
Yeah.
it's just always going to be that part where it's like, God, I miss physical, you know.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I got a buddy that lives in Cambodia in a shipping container with, and he lives there with his wife and his new baby boy, and his in-laws live in the shipping container as well. So it's like, it's all about perspective. There's developing countries that don't even have, you know, decent internet, you know, so it's a very Western first world problem to be like, oh, all I can do is stream.
Right. Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
you know.
Only us.
But I was spoiled. I manufactured my whole existence to revolve around playing music live, and when you put all your chips into one basket, sometimes that basket that's just the bottom drops out. You know.
Yeah.
And it's not anyone's fault. It's like a fucking worldwide pandemic's fault. Like,
right.
You know.
Yeah. There's nothing you
I
can
remember
do
when
about it.
they canceled the NBA when I was on tour.
Oh yeah.
Man.
Like we were on tour all the way up until the shutdown.
Yeah.
And I remember like thinking like this is gonna be like a George Romero apocalypse situation. Like I gotta fucking leave. I gotta go where there's fresh water. I thought there was gonna be like fucking people killing each other for
I remember
water.
people scrambling at the grocery store, like, "Oh, should I get this
remember
food?
that.
Like, what should I?
It
What
was
should
wild.
you know?" Man, that shit was crazy. I'm
Yo,
glad.
I was at a gig when the NBA got shut down.
Me too, man.
I was just about to say, like, me too. Like, I was literally at my friend used to throw like a Wednesday night party for his club and everything, and
yeah,
I was like, for sure, yeah, I'll spend every Wednesday, bet. And I was just in there having a drink, spinning. It was real chill. And I was like, well, they shut the NBA down. I'm like, damn, it's getting real.
Yeah. Because when they cancel sports, you know something's fucked up.
Yeah, because that's their money. It's like they're canceling money. Oh,
yeah.
Right.
You can't cancel $1 billion industry, like multi-billion-dollar industry. That like
in the middle of it, you know.
In the middle of it.
Yeah.
It wasn't even playoffs.
Yeah.
That's when I got real scared. And then the next morning, I went to a Walmart, and then I got even more scared. And I just actually I bought all this instant coffee. I just finally finished my last packet of quarantine instant Folgers. Because I'm like, I bought all this shit. I might as well use it. Like I use some K cups. I like my Keurig.
Yeah.
Me too.
You know,
But it's funny because I'm like, I tell my girlfriend, I'm like, I just finished my instant coffee. I just finished it. Like because I thought I would never finish it.
Yeah.
But that just shows how long this shit's been going on. It's like I went through all of my quarantine oatmeal, and I went through all my quarantine coffee, and it's still and they're locking shit down again, man.
yeah. Quarantine coffee.
Crazy, yo.
Yep. You gotta get another batch of that quarantine coffee there.
I had quarantine soup.
Yeah.
I just had ramen. Like I just remember having a bunch of ramen.
Oh yeah, like I remember we went to the grocery store and we spent so much money because we're like, all right, we're not gonna leave the house for weeks, and we didn't leave the house for like 3 weeks. My car
Yeah.
stayed parked in the same spot so long that the battery died. Like I didn't start it. I just left it there. I'm like, I'm not going anywhere.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'm like, the virus is gonna get me if I leave.
Right.
And now it's a little more chill.
Yeah.
Like I went to the fucking dentist today. I don't know why I did that.
Hey, I had to go to the doctor at, one point during the pandemic, so I feel that you got to take care of yourself and milk that insurance that you said. You gotta
Well, I'm about to leave the state, so I figure I might as well.
What's the insurance situation like for dental in California? What's that difference there?
Well, I've been a poor person in Michigan.
Okay.
And I've been a poor person out here. So let me just tell you, Michigan Medicaid is like rolling out the red fucking carpet. Out here, it's not so much.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah. Dude, when I had Medicaid in Michigan, I had fucking Blue Shield or Blue Cross Complete.
Shout out to Blue Cross.
Oh, wow. Okay. Wow.
Dude, and when I was actually making money, I had the Obamacare, and I had to pay a good amount of money out of pocket to get Blue Cross. And now, ever since the pandemic happened and I became completely furloughed and unemployed, I'm on something called Health Net, which is for LA County, and it just does not seem as comprehensive and reliable as Blue. But what's crazy about Michigan Medicaid is when I was super poor in Michigan and I had Blue Cross, I had better insurance than my sister in Indiana, and she makes like 80 grand a year. Like my deductible was lower.
Yeah.
I got better prices on prescriptions. My what else? My copays were pretty much non-existent. And my sister, if she like even coughs, like they charge her $600, and she like has a career. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's weird. I
crazy.
remember like when I got on Medicaid because I think I was like, was it 26 was the cutoff for like getting off of like your parents' insurance, and this was like 2 years ago for me.
Yeah, those were the days.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like my parents, worked at GM and they had like, amazing insurance for like a long time, and like
Nice.
and so I was like on their insurance until I was 26, and like then I went and got like on Medicaid like a year after that or whatever, and like man, everything like was way cheaper as far as like prescriptions and shit go. Like, I didn't have to pay for anything when I was on Medicaid versus like when I was on my parents' insurance, there were like more like co-pays and more like, it was obviously it was better insurance like in the long haul, and like, if I were to have like a big surgery or something, like, but yeah, this is crazy.
All I know is shout out to the state of Michigan and for them fixing my hernia in 2018, because if it wasn't for the state of Michigan, then I would be walking around with this weird thing hanging out of my belly button. So.
Well, I'm
shout out to
know.
Michigan.
Yeah. Michigan.
Michigan.
Not to dog California. I really like it out here. It's just fucking too expensive.
Yeah.
It's like, we don't live in a nice neighborhood, and we're paying like well over $1,000 for a 1-bedroom, and it's just like that's just too much money. Like, fuck that. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And we don't like my work dried up. Like, it just
Right.
It was fun. It lasted. We'll see what happens post COVID, if there is such a thing as a post COVID.
Yeah. I feel like it's gonna like linger. Circumstances might get better, but there's definitely gonna be things happening with COVID for a long, long time. I feel like.
Oh God, you already know.
Yeah.
The lady at the store today, she said she was talking about people talking about Thanksgiving, and we'll just have Thanksgiving next year. And then she says to me, she's like, COVID's gonna be here then too, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
And then
Damn.
I start getting all sweaty, like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just like, please don't say stuff like that to me. But she might be right. Who knows?
Just
I don't
stating
fucking
the
know.
facts, getting you ready for that, Yeah.
I'm
don't
not
know.
a doctor. I just hope the smart people figure this shit out, and hopefully, if there's a vaccine, it doesn't I don't know. It doesn't give us all
Mess us-
fucking some sort of like weird itchy rash or I don't
like,
know what the hell's gonna
some-
happen.
Like we're turned into like mutant like people. or
Yeah,
something.
growing like third eyeball and shit.
Yeah.
Depending on the power, though, you know.
Yeah.
I don't want to turn into zombies.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what to believe about literally anything anymore.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
It's like everything is like, are you sure?
Yeah, I saw it on YouTube, you know,
Okay.
or I saw it on Twitter. Like,
Yeah.
I did my research.
It's crazy when Twitter is like that reliable source. Like did Twitter say it though?
Somebody
Right.
Right.
Yeah, I'm just in my cave, just hoping things get better.
Well, let's get to this album part of the live stream here. So, what albums and like, I guess you could just generally just put any music under the umbrella, but like I guess like what albums inspired you to like create and like continue to like make music and stuff?
Oh man.
What are some big pivotal albums for you?
Oh, I can list them all by year. 91 was the Use Your Illusion double album that came out, and then that was 91. Guns N' Roses, Use Your Illusion 1 and 2. That shit changed my life. Looking back now, it's a little cringe. Axl Rose is a little cringe, but I still love him.
Yeah,
There's a
that's-
huge nostalgia factor for me. And then by the time I was in middle school, it was like Metallica and Justice for All, Megadeth, Rust in Peace. By the time I was like a freshman in high school, Sex Pistols, Nevermind the Bollocks, and then like Black Flag, Damaged. Got into like punk rock, and then by the time I was like a junior in high school, it was Prince, self-titled.
Mhm.
It was Curtis Mayfield's Superfly soundtrack.
Sweet. Yeah.
It was it was the Parliament, all the gold that they put out. There was the 2-disc gold set.
Yeah.
And then what else did I really? Oh, and then like senior year of high school, I got real into Sublime, 40 Ounces to Freedom,
Yeah.
and then like by the time I got out of high school and I was like 19 years old, it was Mr. Bungle, self-titled. Like that just flipped my lid. And what's funny about that album is it came out in 91, but I didn't discover it until 1999 after the band broke up. And then fuck man, there's so many records like changed my life. And to this day, let's go to some like recent shit. I would say 2017 Death Grips Ex-Military, that like made me that I'm like, okay, like this is the most punk rock shit that's happening right now.
Yeah.
Mm.
And then at the tail end of 2017, I actually like got I was going through a breakup and fucking Post Malone Stoney.
I mean,
Like-
yeah.
Post Malone Stoney was the fucking that got me through my breakup. That
Wow.
song, what's that song? Fucking it falls apart. What the fuck is that song called? How does that fucking song go? I can't believe I can't remember it right now.
Is it I Fall Apart?
Yeah, I Fall Apart.
Yeah.
Yes.
I had a student that wanted to learn that song. One time, I think.
Just the lyrics to that song, I became obsessed with working out because I had like nothing else in my life, and I was like I'm a glutton for punishment, and I would sit in the sauna and I would listen to that song like on repeat. And it's
Yeah.
funny because all these dudes are like pretty much naked around me, and I'm like crying like to myself about my ex, like listening to Post Malone, dude.
Hey,
They were
Whatever
doing the
gets
same.
you through.
Don't worry.
yeah.
Oh, hey, real quick story. There's a dude on Father's Day in the sauna that started bawling. And,
Okay.
Wow.
And he's like, I miss my fucking dad. And then he starts talking about it. And every one of these like half naked dudes, they start being real nice to him. And
They're
then I
swaddling
started
around
fucking
in the
crying
sauna.
too. So just picture that shit on Father's Day. It's all these fucking dudes that like are lifting weights, trying to be buff and shit, crying about their dad. That was a real moment, man. That was lovely.
Wow.
What movie were you in?
That wasn't a movie. That was
real life.
That is dope.
Oh, but this, these lines, Post Malone. She told me that I'm not enough. She left me with a broken heart. She fooled me twice, and it's all my fault. She cut too deep. Now she left me scarred. And the, ooh, I fall apart.
Yeah.
Down through my core. Like, yeah. Okay, so that's. I'm trying to think of what else recently. Oh, the year my dad died, 2016. I didn't realize that every single Strokes album is good. Like, Is This It? I remember in 2001, I was obsessed with that album, and I never listened to any other Strokes song until 2015. And then my friend Carmel, who I think you know Carmel
I
Liberti.
love Carmel, yeah.
Me too.
She's like,
She's
like,
the best.
hey, have you heard the Strokes song? And I'm like, they have other albums? And turns out they had 5 other albums. And they just
Yeah.
put out a new one that came out like right after the quarantine. And that was my jam for a minute. Yeah, and I don't know. I love so much different music.
Yeah, it's a it's like a funny question to ask because I feel like they're for certain people, you know, they got like loads of like albums that were pivotal points in their life, and then like some people it's just like 2 or like 1 album. You know, it's always like different for everybody. Yeah.
I like. There's so many.
Yeah.
In eighth grade, for a minute, I was obsessed with Typo Negative.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny that in high school
I
you
remember. Sorry, I keep.
Oh no,
keep
you're
rambling.
good. Yeah, no, keep going.
Oh no, go down the nostalgic list.
Yeah.
I remember in '91, I got real into Public Enemy because dude, so '91 was an insane year because that's the movie Terminator 2 came out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in the movie Terminator 2, there was a Guns N' Roses song on the soundtrack, and that's what made me fall in love with Guns N' Roses. But also, John Connor's wearing a Public Enemy T-shirt, so I got the Public Enemy Apocalypse '91, The Enemy Strikes Back, and they do a song that they put out on a previous album called Bring the Noise, but they did it with Anthrax. And so I was just getting into heavy metal, and I'm like, you can do rap and heavy metal at the same time?
Yeah.
And I was like, and I had the cassette single, and I was just in my room underneath my bunk bed, just and yeah, the Rage Against the Machine self-titled album.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I love Rage a lot.
Facts.
I'm a big Rage Against the Machine
The
fan.
first time anyone, I don't care who you are, but the first time anyone hears fucking Killing in the Name, fuck you, you tell me.
Fuck you, I won't do it.
It doesn't matter who you are, where you come from. Like that shit is so powerful. And I was just a little fucking emotional guy that like didn't like his dad, and I got bullied. And when I hear that, it's just like there's something so insanely empowering about that particular song. It just makes you want to punch holes in walls. It makes you want to go like full Kyle and just fucking beat up all the drywall.
Yep. Yep. Me and my friends. Do you know My Pal Val at all? Are you familiar with My Pal Val, the band?
I know. There's a dude named John that I went to high school with.
You went to
John.
You went to high school with John?
What's his last name? Missig?
Yeah, Missig.
He's a year younger than me. I went to Northville High School with him.
That is so funny. Oh my God, that's a small world right there. But
dude, Detroit is big city, small town, like to the core.
Man, that's so funny that you went to high school with John, like, and that's who you know out of that band. That's so funny. I'm good friends with Elise McCoy and Valerie Claft in that band, and I ended up going to music school with Elise McCoy, and then I became friends with Val through Elise. But then I also met this girl, you know, I don't know if you know Gwen McPhee at all, but she's really tight with Carmel. But she's a bass.
We did Electric Forest. I did. She played upright bass for.
Yeah.
We did this weird like burlesque thing.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yep, yeah. She was a part
She's
of
mad
that.
talented. She plays the fuck out of that upright.
Yeah,
She's great.
she plays the fuck out of Electric too. She's insane. And like me, her, and then Elise and Val from My Pal Val started an all-women Rage Against the Machine tribute band. Like,
Oh, no way.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh shit! What?
yeah,
Hell yeah.
yeah. It's
Yeah, I mean,
it's fun.
Is there footage?
Yeah, there's
like
footage.
you can't
I need footage.
you can't like dog Rage. I mean, even when everyone was coming down on them when they were doing that reunion tour and they were saying the ticket prices are too high, I'm just like, who cares? It's Rage. They can do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, yep. Yeah,
Yeah,
and-
I wasn't gonna pay to see that. I had
neither.
tickets to go see them when in like the 90s when they were touring with the Beastie Boys and they canceled that tour for some reason. I forget why, but that was like 97 or something.
That's such a funny tour because it was like similar concepts, but like very, very different versions of that concept of like music. You know, it was it was weird. Like I don't
Yeah.
know.
The Beastie Boys, like in the 90s, got way more woke though. In the 80s, they were just like they were talking about smoking dust and
Right.
and
Yeah, they did become like technicians.
well, not only that, but they really fought for the freedom of the Tibetan people, and they threw like benefit concerts.
They did.
Yeah, so they were like, I'm pretty sure. One of the dudes is a Buddhist, and they denounced all of their old lyrics. They didn't play any of that party fucking shit. They pretty much apologized for it, and they got on this kind of. I mean, it was around the time when they would do the intergalactic stuff, but it was a little bit before that. After they put out Sabotage and Ill Communication. Ill Communication is such a good fucking album.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, so I think in that era it totally made sense for Rage and Beastie Boys.
Right. Yeah.
Because there's like multiple eras of Beastie Boys, and like the Beastie Boys in the late 80s is way different than the Beastie Boys in the mid 80s.
Yo, that
yeah.
is facts.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely.
But I like it all. Like
Me too.
the best part about those early Beastie Boys records was that Kerry King from Slayer played guitar all over them because Rick Rubin produced them.
Yeah, he did.
And Rick Rubin just is all types of weird. He signed System of a Down.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
there's a lot of cool interview footage of Rick Rubin talking about when he first saw System of a Down playing at the Viper Room, how he just thought it was hilarious because they were so goofy. But even though their musicality is goofy and it jumps all over the place and it's very cartoonish, like their actual lyrical content is so fucking serious. So it's like this really cool mix of like cartoony,
Yeah.
like, you know, like jumping around genres, and then it has this like Middle Eastern, because they're all Armenian, so it has this like really cool
Yeah.
like it's got this cool identity of its own. System of a Down Toxicity.
Yeah.
It's another album that fucked my world up.
I loved all that stuff.
2003 Red Hot Chili Peppers, by the way. That was when they went on their mellow trip.
Yeah.
I love, by the way.
By the way, it's so good. Oh man, I could talk about albums forever. I love music
Yeah.
so much.
I used to blast that album on
Yeah.
the west side of Detroit, straight up to out my parents' entertainment system with the windows open. And I know for a fact all the neighbors like, what the fuck is he listening to? But I was just in there getting it in because it goes hard. Like
Yeah.
13-year-old kids blasting that shit. Facts.
Just-
I don't care.
It's such a beautiful album, and like I know there are people that are annoyed by Anthony Kiedis, but really on that album he's just singing the whole time. He's not doing that California shit. He's just it's just really beautiful melodies and the
Yeah.
way the bass and the guitar they like meld together. It's just it's soothing. It's like when I listen to it I feel nostalgic. I feel like there's a romantic feel to it. There's like a sense of loss. It's powerful. That's one of my favorite albums of all time, hands down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could talk about this shit forever.
It's cool. Like you said when you were, I think you said when you were in high school, that you had like the Parliament and Curtis Mayfield and like Prince phases and stuff like that.
It all came from the movie series Dolomite with Rudy Ray Moore.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
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 Yo, brother.
So
Okay.
this is how it went down.
Let's go.
So okay, I'm a fucking I'm as white of a person as is possible to exist in this world. Like I'm German and fucking, you know what I mean? And I grew up
Yeah.
in a white suburb of Detroit, but I was working at this ice cream store and this dude kept telling me about Dolomite and I was like, what? And he's like, Dolomite. He raps and he does kung fu and he fights the man and he kicks ass. And I'm just like, oh, because I've always been like bullied, kind of like I always felt like I wasn't good enough, you know, because of the way I was raised. So so anyone like fighting a power greater than them, like any underdog thing always like got me wet, you know?
Yeah.
So I went and rented Dolomite and I'm just like, this is the fucking coolest shit ever. And then this I got the Isaac Hayes the Shaft soundtrack and so I started really getting into, and I know it sounds weird in retrospect, but I had such an appreciation for like black culture, like starting in the early 90s with like Public Enemy and stuff. I'm like these human beings are fighting for something, and it was tangible and I could feel it, and I always gravitated towards that. So so all of the funk music I got into was because of the movie Dolomite, and then I started buying all this shit on VHS. I bought the Dolomite I remember my dad got me the Dolomite VHS tape collection from Xenon Video, and he's like, I don't know why you want this. I'm like, because it's the shit.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
'Cause Dad was square, but I'm like, yo, I'm like, dude, Dolomite is the shit. And then I still have VHS copies of Superfly, Dolomite, the whole Dolomite series, Petey Wheatstraw, Shaft, and then
Yeah.
it was
sick.
I became obsessed with funk music. And
It's sweet though, because when you listen to Downtown Brown, it's like you can totally hear all of like your influences in that music. You know what I mean? Like you got like you got some heavy shit, you got some funky riffs in there. Like you can hear all of those. Like you can hear the Neil influences in that. It shines through.
Essentially all it is putting everything that I was obsessed with when I was a kid into a blender. And
it's cool.
And so when I'm writing a song, I'm writing like songs I want to hear and see played live, with really no compass to whether or not is this gonna work, because sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah. True that. Man, oh man, you just took me back. I grew up with all that shit. Like my dad is funk king, jazz king, funk king. Like Dolomite, Superfly, Car Wash. Every black exploitation film he had in like every record, you know what I mean? He just played. Like I wasn't allowed to touch his music when he played it.
Yeah.
He was mostly like, all right, you in the car with me, you're gonna listen to what I listen to, like for sure.
Yeah.
So I just grew up with all that. So when you was naming all that stuff, I'm like, yo, I remember when he put that record on. Like, here you go. Like,
I love.
But that's special.
Stories.
That's special.
Yeah.
When, you know, I have an older sister, but when I was growing up, she was into like Bon Jovi and U2 and shit, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So what really changed everything for me was having these like kind of miscreant kids and these older people that I thought they were cool, and I looked up to them, and they opened doors for me. Like I remember the first time I heard fucking White Zombie was because my best friend's older brother had this dude that was like pretty much crashing on their couch. It was like, have you heard this shit? Have you heard this shit? And we were listening to Operation Ivy and stuff. And it flipped my wig back, because I just didn't know that music sounded like that, because all I knew was fucking Guns N' Roses, Bon Jovi. I knew like MTV, you know? And I was just supremely lucky, just like you were with your father, to be exposed to all this wonderful shit, because some kids don't even get that.
I agree.
They go through life and all they get is what's fed to them, and you can't discount how special it is to be exposed to culture, you know?
I agree.
Well, and this is another funny thing. You want to talk about albums? 1989, the Batman movie came out. Tim Burton Batman starring Jack Nicholson and Michael Keaton.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So get this. There was a soundtrack album by Prince. And
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
And there was also the score by Danny Elfman.
Yeah.
Okay. So I was just talking to my girlfriend about this because we just watched Batman. I wanted the score. I wanted the Danny Elfman da 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 da. Listen to that while I played with my Batman action figures.
Yeah.
But instead, my mom got me the Prince fucking album.
Oh.
And at first, I'm like, I wanted the fucking score.
Yeah.
But there's fat little 1989 me. So this is pre Guns N' Roses. I think Prince, it like really was the start of it all. Because I became obsessed with the Batman soundtrack by Prince. And it was 1989. I was in 3rd grade. And that shit was lit. Party Man, fucking Scandalous. Dude, there's a song. There's a song and I was a fucking 3rd grader listening to the song by Prince where he starts going, babe, and then he goes, babe, and you can hear this girl like weeping, but kind of, and the whole song dies down, and it's this like really airy, spacey, like sexy keyboard riff and stuff, and I pretty much was listening to Prince having sex with a woman when I was in 3rd grade, and I was like, like, what is this? This is bad, but I love it, you know? It's like,
Yeah. Man, like Prince was like my mom's shit. Like I remember Prince albums were in our car, and I feel like
yeah.
Prince might be like one of the biggest reasons why I make music now. Like I love Prince so much. Yeah.
Those first Warner Brothers albums, like right when he was 18, he got signed right out of high school. He would walk into the studio, and he would just put on a click, and he would play the entire song on the drum set, and no demo, no nothing. He would just fucking have the song in his head, and he'd be like in his head, and then he would put the bass over it, and then he'd put the guitar over it, and then he'd put the keyboards, and he'd start layering vocals. Like he knew. I read a book on Prince where he was talking about how he's a conduit for music through the divinity of God, and it's some powerful shit because it's like the conviction and the way he talked about it. It's like I believe it because we're talking about one of the most prolific human beings besides like Frank Zappa to ever exist as far as music is concerned, and like yeah, he's like, I'm just a vessel for all this music to come out, and he would sleep like 3 hours a day and just be like constantly recording music.
Yeah.
Yo,
his whole life.
The stories that people have told about him music-wise, like you guys should look up the Morris Day interview with like DJ Vlad.
Oh,
yeah. Have you seen it?
I've never.
I haven't seen it, but
Yo.
I know Vlad for sure.
Yeah, like Morris Day went through like it was like 2 hours of just him talking about Prince's like just how he was and how he did music. And of course you heard stories and you know how amazing it was, but just hearing it, you're like, yo, he really was like music. Like that's what he was, and it was sheesh.
Yeah.
It was crazy, yo.
There's a Kevin Smith, the director of the movie Clerks. You know Kevin Smith. He did Jane Silent Bob movie.
Yeah.
Strikes Back.
He has a he got hired by Prince, and he has a whole big long 45-minute story where he talks about what it was like working for Prince, because he was supposed to make this movie about Prince and he ended up being like a Jehovah's Witness. He was raised Jehovah's Witness, but then he liked witness. So
Yeah. That's crazy.
But whatever you want to do, like I don't give a fuck. Like Prince could do whatever the fuck he wants, and I'm there. I saw him live 4 times, and the last time was in 2015. He had an all-girl band, and he sold out the Fox Theater in seconds. And we got tickets, and I cried, and it was awesome.
Man, yeah, he was something. He's great.
There's just some human beings that are just so special.
Yeah.
And he's one of them. There's a bunch of them, but he with me.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's a Prince song for like every one of my most favorite people that I don't know. It just like I'm a very nostalgic person, and there's a Prince song there for sure.
Yeah.
If I hear the most beautiful girl in the world, I think about my mom.
Yeah.
Because I get all emotional.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
That song's so good.
Yeah, it's great. It's weird. The stream cut out for like a second, and then it came back. So it's like it stopped.
It just kind of.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it
crackly there for a second.
I don't know if it like
Yeah, but it didn't
restarted or
stop.
not. I have
don't
no
think.
idea.
It's
Yeah.
kind of happening again now.
Either way, we're back. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, Neil, is there anything that you want to like plug as far as like, online events that you have going on, or anything that you want to talk about as far as like things you might be putting out into the world?
Yeah, I mean, I'm constantly uploading on my YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/Neil P. And when I get back to Detroit, I'm probably gonna make more Downtown Brown shit, or who knows,
Cool.
maybe I'll just do something totally different. But I mean, I make videos now, and then I fuck around on Twitch every Sunday, at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Okay.
Cool.
Pacific. And then I don't know. That's it. I'm just, trying to survive.
Cool. Well, check out.
Thanks for having me. This was a lot of fun. I'm like actually sweaty from being enthusiastic.
Oh, good. That's good.
That's dope.
It's almost as
Yeah,
good
'cause-
as the sweaty bodies around. Almost. No, I don't know.
Yeah, I wish I feel like sometimes I ramble too much, but I got really excited to talk about some shit. So I appreciate you having me on, and thank you for this.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, our friend Kyle has been saying some stuff in the chat, and I haven't like responded to him. But shout out to Kyle. He said that you're a fun man and you should chill on Twitch more. He thinks that you should be on Twitch more. So, and he also put your Twitch URL in the chat as well. So shout out
Thank
Kyle.
you, Kyle.
Shout out Kyle. And yeah. Oh, Bahama John said hey too. Hey Bahama John, how you doing?
What
All right.
Yo,
Well, thank you so much, Neil, for being on here. It's seriously, you didn't ramble at all. To me, this is like the perfect kind of guest to have on this kind of stream.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
facts.
Like we like people that talk, so that's a good thing. And
yeah. Usually when I do my podcast, I ask a question and I just sit there and try to listen because so this is it's weird being on the other end,
Yeah, yeah. We're glad to have you on here, and thanks for chatting about stuff. And go check out Neil's pages. I put up his little Instagram tag there on the screen. So go check out
Thank you.
see what he's got cooking every week, and we will catch you guys next week. Thank you so much, Neil, for being here. It was awesome talking to you, and keep on doing your thing,
Hey, shoot me links to your guys' shit too, because I want to follow y'all. And
Yeah.
For sure.
Will do.
Yeah, because I'm interested now. I want to be involved.
Hell yeah. Good deal. Yeah, I'll definitely
We got
send it your way.
Thanks again, and thanks for doing this, because this is the thing: is people need distraction, and even if it's like just some weirdos talking about music, I feel like you're giving people an opportunity to kind of escape themselves for a second. So I think it's all noble to me.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I just want people to feel good about themselves when they
Yeah.
talk about themselves,
Facts.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's tough to do. It's a weird thing, this existence thing.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well,
But I don't know. Like, do I hit the button, or are you gonna end the stream?
yeah, I'm about to end it right now. So, see you guys later, and see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.